So we have another set of differences, and this time the title words were sensing and intuition, and you can see in parentheses the shortcut version that they use. The icons help to describe these differences, so that those who prefer sensing tend to appreciate specific information, and the more information they have, the more creative they can become. So they don't like vague directions, they like complete directions. Yeah. And it's from that base of good information that they can then look at new possibilities. They want to know a lot of examples, so that if somebody says, here's a concept, then they go, okay, but now help me understand how that works. How does it apply it? And the more examples they have, the more clear it is. And it's not a comprehension issue, it's actually a confirmation issue. It's like they understood what you said the first time, but they say, well, another example will just confirm that that's what and then another example will just confirm it again. And so they appreciate that quantity of people being able to provide examples. They tend to enjoy the production phase of things, the doing phase, rather than the design phase. So coming up with an idea is their stretch side. But once they come up with an idea, man, they're ready to take charge and make it happen. That's the part that's more fun for this type. They tend to remember information and details, because each of those details is just a little piece of a treasure that they keep in their mind, because they never know when they might need it, so they kind of store it there and save it up and ready to pull out when necessary. And they value experience. So if I'm learning it, I want to do it, I want to use it. That's going to make it more important. And so these people would also say, I trust somebody who's already done the job because they have the experience, they know, and then they can help teach me. People with a preference for intuition tend to value looking at things in different ways. So therefore our icon shows trees in a kind of unique way. They like a few directions so they can do it their way. So they're much more appreciative when a teacher says, just do a project, whatever you want. Because they're like, cool, no, I don't have anybody to hold me back. The censor would say, but I need to know, when do you want it and how long should it be and what materials can I use? The people with intuition say, let me know the main idea. I'll figure out those details later. And so they may miss some significant details because they focus on just understanding how all of the pieces hook together and connect together to form a main idea. Their love is the design phase. They love coming up with possibilities and new ideas. But when they say, okay, now, let's go do it, they're like, oh, this is the work side. This is the stretch side for the intuitive. One example, two examples, say, that's enough, let's go on. I'm ready for the next thing. Yeah. Because they don't find the joy of hearing multiple examples the way censors do. They tend to skim and only read for the main idea. And occasionally, they will come up with an idea that is so grand, it's like, oh, they envision creating the Taj Mahal. But they're quite not able to do that. So their designs can sometimes be grander than what they're able to produce, and that can sometimes cause frustration for the intuitive. Both are wonderful ways of looking at information, but people tend to prefer one more than the other. And if you had to pick the one that works for you best, what would you say?
I think it would be the intuitive.
So you think you start with intuition and then would go to sensing? Because this is one of those first then. You're not going to be successful in the world unless you're able to use both sides. Okay? And so what piece of intuition sounded just right for you?
I think it was just like skimming and really only a few examples to be able to move on. It's like I don't need to see all this repetition, I get it, let's move on and keep going.
Right. And that's what is most common for intuitives to say. How about the design phase? Is that more attractive to you, or the doing phase?
Yeah, I like thinking of things and then, well, actually, I might like doing, because sometimes I have trouble thinking of ideas, and it's easier for me to just, when I have an idea, just to do it.
Okay, okay. So some of the descriptions are exactly right, and some of them might be a little bit. Right. That's how it is for many people. Everything doesn't have to be 100%. It's kind of preponderance. Okay, perfect. So go ahead then and put a check mark by intuition for that set of differences.